you know that you can cycle around the perimeter of Sydney, mostly using bike trails and bike tracks? Sydney has a bit of a reputation for having really bad bike infrastructure, so when I saw someone do this route, I was immediately intrigued. In New South Wales, the state that I live, there is only one public holiday in the second half of the year, and I was not going to waste that day. I'm going to try and do this whole bike trail route over 200 kilometers in one go. And while I am familiar with some of the more well-known bike tracks, such as the M7, Cove National Park, there's probably over 120 kilometers of this route which I am unfamiliar with. So let's not waste any time. We're going to have to wake up really early, before 5 AM, brush our teeth and get some sunscreen on, pack heaps of food and snacks, and get on the road, because this ride is going to take a long time. Let's go.
Alright guys, I've got a confession to make to you. My longest ride ever has been probably about 170 kilometers off the top of my head. And I think as far as cycling goes, that's actually not a very far distance. So today is a long weekend and we're going to try and smash that out of the park. This is a route that has fascinated me for a while, and I saw someone do it recently and it reminded me of it. So I thought, why not go out and do it? Sydney, I think, has a bad reputation of having not very good cycle paths or bike infrastructure. So today's route is over 200 kilometers long. It's probably going to end up being about 215 Ks, and 85% of it is on bike path or shared path, allegedly. We'll find out how good that infrastructure is or how bad it is. But yeah, someone made this route quite a while ago. It is called the Great Sydney Classic Bike Trail Route, and there's only 4 rules. The 4 rules are that you need to go around 4 markers, and the 4 markers are Centennial Park, Cove National Park, Western Sydney Parklands, and Woronora Bridge in South Sydney. So those are the 4 markers that define the outside of Sydney, according to this bike route. Online, people say they do it as a 2-day cycling event. We're going to try and do it in 1 day. So we're starting very early, 5:30 AM, still dark. I'm here at Victoria Cross. We're going to start here and finish here. So that means we're going to go over the Harbour Bridge as our finale. And away we go.
I know a lot of people watching this video will be keen to try and do this route, so I just want to preface this video by saying a couple of things. First of all, this route is not clearly marked out. This is literally just joining a whole bunch of cycleways and shared paths and back streets to make one complete circuit. So if you go out there and expect it to be well marked, it is not. This route requires a great deal of navigation, common sense, and making sure that you're doing things safely. So while you can copy the route from someone else's GPX, I would highly recommend you do your own due diligence and do some research on places where you can eat and refuel that makes sense for your route.
Alright, we've just got into Cove National Park, which is quite early on in the course. I think we're probably only like 10-12K. I wouldn't know because I've got the navigation on my screen, so no kilometers. But that means we're passing the first marker of the day, which is Cove National Park. It is freezing in here though. I'm so cold. These guys have got long sleeves on, so they're cheering, but it's going to be over 30 degrees today, so I'm gearing myself up for the hot weather. Macquarie Park now. The sun is up. We've had a beautiful sunrise, but not many clouds, so we're not going to get much cloud cover, and it's going to be warm. And it's not often that I do a route that is brand new. I've been riding in Sydney for a few years now, so I feel like I've done everything already. But today is actually going to be a real adventure. I think that sense of exploration, something completely new, I'm very, very excited for that. I haven't dodged it in a long time.
With fresh legs, lollies in our pockets, and the sun coming over the horizon, we eagerly awaited what the day would bring us. Each bike path took us onto a brand new park, which showcased some of the beautiful green spaces that we have here in Sydney. Spirits could not be more high. A few of our friends even joined us. Somehow, people who were more crazy than us. Owen just did the dirty 1:30 the day before in Wagga Wagga and drove back to Sydney and got home at 9 PM last night. And Sharon, well...
Excuse me, ma'am. I think you're meant to be in bed. Sharon did 300 kilometers yesterday, and she's out here today. Rico, right? Are you going to join us for the whole thing? Okay. We're at Parramatta River now. That's Rhodes over there. Olympic Park is over just across the water as well. And we're going to follow this bike path along Parramatta River all the way to Parramatta. This is a really, really nice bike path. I've actually never really ridden on it. I've run on it more than I've ridden on it. Wow. The water is so still. The reflection is like almost perfect on the water. Beautiful. First time riding Parramatta Park. Yeah, I've never ridden here before.
Popping Josh's PP too.
Gee, that's... We'll edit that one out.
I'm sure a lot of my viewers are very familiar with Parramatta Park. I think it is a staple of riding in Western Sydney. Just like Centennial Park, it's got a dedicated bike lane, and it was really nice and quiet. There was no cars about, just people walking, running, and other people riding bikes. And while strictly not part of the classic route, we just had to do a lap of the park. At this point, we're about 42 kilometers in, so we've got a fair distance to cover still, but I can definitely see myself coming back here one day to do a few more laps. Anyway, now's the perfect time to eat our first snack of the day.
Alternatives.
Yeah.
We've got the sugar option, and then we've got is good.
Last night I was possessed by the devil. I've never bought this before. I've never looked at it before, but it called to me on the on the shelf, and I just had to have it. I just want.
No, you gotta rip it, and then you eat the stick through the middle.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh no.
The way you
Eating
suck that.
PP at PP. I'm glad I bought two.
Yeah, they're really good.
It's a good snack.
And salty, so it's good.
Tessie,
Oh, that looks good.
Nice. The bunny
Homemade.
cookies.
does she watch the videos?
Yeah, well she will now.
Good job, Tessie. We've just entered the M7 Cyclepath, which is probably one of Sydney's best pieces of cycling infrastructure. 40 kilometers of pretty much uninterrupted bike path. It's very, very good. I've made a guide video on it, and if you want to check it out, you should go look at that video. It'll tell you a little bit about how to get there, as well as one of my favorite cafes that are close by. But we're going to be rolling on this bike path for quite a while, 40k, but we'll also have a little cafe stop in the middle. Look how great this is, just a separate bike path for 40 kilometers.
Simple, simple, simple minds. I guess we'll take it one by one, baby, one by one. Just different, different, different kinds. We'll try to take it one by one, baby, one by one. Too many problems, I'm already lost, yeah. Baby, I do. I miss you too many nights. I miss your colorful lights. I think I love you too much. I miss your blueberry eyes. Fine, fine. I play the memories over, over, over.
All right, curry pie and a donut. Classic Aussie park up. Curry pie is pretty good.
No, Joshy.
Matching.
Now we were planning to go to a nice cafe in Rooty Hill called T&B Cafe, but due to it being public holiday, it was closed, and the only thing that was open was this Vietnamese bakery. So we got a curry pie, other people got a sausage roll, and to accompany it, I got a donut. For us, Rooty Hill is probably about 1/3 of the way into the ride along the M7 bike path. This was easily going to be the fastest part of the ride. It's a fully sectioned off bike path. There's no stopping for traffic lights or pedestrians or things like that. In addition, we were very lucky we had a tailwind, and we also had Bunny to tow us.
I wanna know my true feelings inside. Give me some time. Oh, we'll bring it in a simple, simple, simple minds. I guess we'll take it one by one, baby, one by one. Just different, different, different kinds. We'll try to take it one by one, baby, one by one.
All right, we are passing the second outer market right now. So Western Sydney Parklands is to my left. Beautiful, beautiful parklands, lots of walking tracks, even some cycling tracks. But yeah, really nice. And also marks the about halfway through the M7. Bunny is towing us at a furious pace. We're flying.
Up until this point, we've been quite lucky with the route. We've been riding on some very well established cycleways, and getting from one to the other wasn't too hard either. But as we reached southwest Sydney, we found out that this is where things got a little bit more tricky. This part of the route, we're essentially hopping from park to park, cycleway to cycleway, and there's a lot of streets and back roads that are in between. More often than not, it's not too obvious where the next one's going to be, and while we were following the Garmin, when you're planning something on Google Maps, it doesn't always translate in real life like you think it will. With that being said, when we did find our way on the course, we were treated to some incredibly beautiful parks. These parks were like a little oasis in the desert. They were green, they were shaded, kept us cool, and we could ride safely without fear of any interactions with vehicles.
Yeah. Cool.
I literally bought the entire
Casuala power station. I don't know any fun facts about it, sorry. This is, sure, I think this is the way. Casuala power station. Admire it. nice. Old industrial building. Hello. How are you? Yeah. So we're on the Lake Moor shared path now. This goes around, leaves from Liverpool and goes around Chippy Norton. Nice and shaded, that's what I like right now. The vibes are very high right now. Everyone's very happy. Owen and Sharon joined us briefly, but they've gone home now, so it's just me, Nicole, and Bunny. And we've got water on both sides. Wow. Yeah.
Can we just take a minute to appreciate how beautiful and pristine these bike paths are? Since I was running navigation on my head unit, I only had the map, and for the first time ever, I wasn't looking at the watts, the heart rate, the cadence, the speed. I was just enjoying my surroundings. Things were going really, really well. Maybe too well. It's almost like a curveball was around the corner.
Off-road. I did see this on the course map that there'd be some gravel riding. Oh! Yeah, it goes this way. Watch there. Bunny's very happy because of the downhill descent. Turned into quite an adventure. Hey, at least the river isn't overflowed over there. I didn't expect to be doing gravel today on a road bike, but here we are. Hopefully no flats.
Thankfully, we finished the gravel section without getting any flats or any mishaps. And what a good way to reward ourselves by getting a massive lunch.
Almost 120k in, and we've stopped in, where are we? What does the menu say? Revesby. We're in Revesby. We stopped at Awesome Thai, and then I just have a little lunch, recharge some of the batteries. Got all the bikes parked up there. Oh, it's quite hot right now. Not bad.
32.6 degrees.
We might not be able to leave this restaurant. We've ordered a main each, 3 entrees.
I think we'll be fine, Josh.
Yeah, Bunny's here, so he'll help us.
5 minutes later.
So full. Pregante, Pergonat. Cole's been a very good influence on us. We've been reapplying sunscreen religiously every hour and a half or so. Be sun safe, guys.
Sun smart.
Sun smart, sun safe.
With our bellies full of food and 80 kilometers to go, it's time to make our way to the third marker and to South Sydney.
We're in another cycleway now, which is isolated from the road. And I think we're in like Alfred's Point. We're making our way towards southern Sydney, towards Sutherland. Those rock faces. Whoa. We're getting cooked out in the sun here. Not a drip of shade. Look at this thing. 32 degrees. Battling the heat right now.
This was probably the hardest part of the ride. These cycleways had no shade. We were exposed fully to the heat of the sun. We would often come across big intersections where we'd have to wait a long time for the traffic lights to allow us to cross. As people who are used to riding on the road and having the speed of riding on the road, this was quite frustrating. So for the next little while, we alternated between the road and the cycleway until we could find our way over to Woronora Bridge.
spectacular Woronora Bridge. This is the southern checkpoint. We've made it to the southern checkpoint. Only one more to go. Woronora Bridge. How is everyone feeling? Legs actually not feeling too bad. We've been fueling very well. In addition to the Thai food, we've had lots of lollies, gels, donskis. So yeah, I think as long as we maintain a sensible pace and we fuel well and hydrate, we'll make it easily.
Speaking of hydration,
This is the most famous servo for cyclists. Yeah, 100%. Everyone coming back from Royal National Park, they're cooked, get a Gatorade. This is the last stop before home. The goods. Wow, thank you. I've made a special concoction to help me finish this ride. Blue Maximus, orange Maximus, and Hydrolyte, all in one bottle. And what does it taste like?
Not great.
Brown. Thank you.
I think this is the part of the route that impressed me the most. Not only were we on beautiful bike paths and boardwalks that were right next to the water, this is an area which I've ridden past many times on the way to Cronulla, Royal National Park and Waterfall, and I did not even know that these bike paths existed. We were on the home straight now. As we got closer to the city, we were coming more and more into our home territory. In my mind, all we had left to do was brighten the sands, Cooks River Cycleway, make our way over to La Perouse, do a lap of Centennial Park, and then we were home. Easy, right? Wrong. It's a public holiday, and these bike paths that run adjacent to the beach were filled with people, cars, kids playing, people putting their camper chairs in the bike lane. It was just pure chaos. At some points, we were almost walking our bikes. That's how slow we were going. On top of that, the bike lane that runs along Brighton Le Sands just randomly ends and stops into a car park and then picks up again after the car park, which is pretty unsafe. Any other day or early in the morning, I think this bike path would have been quite nice, but on this particular day, it probably would have been best to avoid it. However, we were quite keen for the next part of the journey, which is the Cooks River Cycleway. This is one of the newest cycleways in Sydney, only recently opened, and it goes by the airport.
A brand new cycleway. This is a new bridge. We love bridges. So good. I see so many people commute on this cycleway, like they put on their Instagram stories. Nice. I might get to experience it.
The rest of the ride in the eastern suburbs of Sydney is actually mostly on the road, and this is all roads that we've done plenty of times. So instead of talking to you guys about that, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit instead about how this route came about. A gentleman named Gary Robinson has been spending the last few years documenting all of Sydney's bike paths. In fact, he has his own YouTube channel where his goal is to film every bike path in Sydney. I'll link it down below. If you are interested in riding and planning this route, a fantastic resource for this is Bicycle New South Wales, which I will link in the description below as well. And Gary has also generously set up a Google Maps link with every single route and marker and all these things that are very useful for your planning. So if you plan on doing this route, I'd highly recommend checking out that link. The last part of this ride was a little bit of a slog, but luckily it was quite nice and flat. We went down to La Perouse, it was packed out with people once again, and then we made our way to Centennial Park.
Yeah, we've done all 4 markers now. Centennial Park, Cove National Park, Western Sydney Parklands, and Woronora Bridge. That's the 4 markers you have to go around. Yeah, that's like, because you can do like any route as long as it includes those. 1 lap of CP, and then we go home. So, home's like 8k, CP lap's 3.7. So we got only like a bit over 10k to go.
Nice.
Awesome, and I'll be over 200. So good. All right, that sounds good to me.
The sun was setting, casting beautiful golden light in the city. The shadows were long, and I finally crossed the 200-kilometer mark. My first ever 200-kilometer ride. This has been a pretty long ride, and we're about to get the reward for all our efforts. An absolutely spectacular, colourful sunset going over the harbour bridge.
All right, guys, we're going over the Sydney Harbour Bridge right now, and there's a beautiful pink sunset on the horizon. What a great way to finish this ride. NK and I were just talking about the last, how many hours has it been?
12.
More than that. 13 and a half hours. We're just talking about the last 13 and a half hours.
Oh yeah, was it?
Yeah. About how great the ride has been, exploring new places, checking out places that we would never usually go to. So I think all around the experience was really good. Are you ready? Casuala power station. Final push. Here we are in North Sydney, pulling back up to Victoria Cross, where we departed 206 kilometres ago and 13 and a half hours ago. Oh, is that Richard? That looks like him. Hello! We made it back. We finished the loop. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming to see us.
And that's it, that's the ride. For me, this ride really took it back to basics, back to what cycling is really about. I wasn't looking at the numbers or the data or the watts or the cadence or the heart rate. I just got to enjoy that sense of freedom, exploration and adventure with my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.